What's up, little enzymes? Welcome back to Dacia's Digest. Today we have some wedding related drama. Yeah, I think that pretty much covers it. If you would like any details on my equipment, my hair, my makeup, the stories that you hear in this video, everything that you see or hear in this video will always be included in the description box. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And let's get into it. So the first story is from our very own subreddit, Dacia's Digest. And the title is, Am I the A-hole for changing my bachelorette party date? Hi everyone, so I'm the bride and genuinely want to know if I'm the a-hole. Did I do the wrong thing? So my bachelorette party was originally loosely scheduled for the end of December, and only 2 of the girls couldn't come, and that was understood that it's okay because one had previous plans already scheduled and one is out of state. We hadn't booked a place to stay or anything. There are 8 of us in total. When I was sitting down to plan, I had realized that doing it in December would limit options of things that I would ideally like to do on my bachelorette party. I would love to hike with everyone, visit a brewery, go apple picking, cook together, and relax during the most amazing time of the year in the Northeast. So I made the decision to change the date to October. I asked when everyone is available, and we settled on a weekend. However, one of the girls can't come who had originally been able to come to the December date. She's upset that I changed the plans. I did so knowing that we will have more to do in October than we would in December. A little bit more info. We are all in our late 20s and have very busy schedules. So while, yes, I'm a little sad that it's almost impossible to get everyone together at one time, I've tried to make an effort to have little celebrations here and there to make sure I celebrate with all of my bridesmaids to make them feel loved. What matters most to me is that we're all together the night before the wedding and the day of the wedding. I do feel bad, and I apologized for not reaching out to everyone first before deciding that October was a better option for the party. We still don't have anything booked, but this weekend is the only weekend 7 to 8 people are free. Am I the a-hole? Nope, not the a-hole. I mean, it's your bachelorette, and that's just the nature of being an adult. As you said, we all have busy schedules. When it was planned in December, that girl could go and the other girl couldn't go. Now the other girl can go and that girl can't go. That's just the nature of being an adult. And it's unfortunate, but you seem really accommodating, saying that you have been planning like little celebrations here and there to make sure everybody feels loved and included. Child, you seem like you're doing the right thing. So while it does suck, I mean, it's not her. She's not the one getting married, so I don't see any problem with you changing the date. I would say go ahead and lock it down because it's August, September, October. That only leaves 2 months. For example, if people have to like pitch in on the cost of something, on the Airbnb of something, you just want to be respectful of like people's budgets. And also like if they have to take PTO or something, this would be right. I mean, actually you have less than 2 months because it's about to be September. So yeah, you might want to lock down that date because people got to request PTO, etc. And that 7 to 8 people can easily dwindle to 5 to 6, But I don't think you're the a-hole. Someone said, not the a-hole. You would only be the a-hole if you got mad at your friend for not being able to attend. Because after all, October is quite short notice for many of us with corporate jobs. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking too. Like, it's already basically September and you want to do this in October. That's cutting it real close. So you're saying you haven't even locked down a date. Yeah, I would definitely try to lock that in as soon as you can. Honestly, I feel like November might even be like maybe early November might even be good. Anyways, just make sure you lock it down. So it looks like she posted this on the Am I the A-hole subreddit, so there actually are comments on there that we can refer to. One person said, "You're not an a-hole. I feel like your friend isn't necessarily an a-hole for being upset. It's a bummer. A bachelorette party sounds like fun and she's going to miss it. On the flip side, she could be being selfish. If this weekend works the best for the most people, it's the right choice, even though she's the unfortunate one on the wrong side of that. If she's feeling like you value your friendship with her less than with other people, that's unfair." By the way, I totally agree with you that an October weekend in the Northeast sounds like a great time to party. Oh, she also posted this in the Bridezilla's subreddit, so there are even more comments and a couple of responses from her. So someone said, "I mean, this sounds like poor planning on your part. Since you originally said December, not Bridezilla worthy, but still do what you're gonna do, but deal with the consequences." I agree with that person because, again, it is short notice. Someone said, "I think a-hole is too strong of a term, but I'm on team bridesmaid. You all planned for and confirmed end of December. Then you just changed it without any input from the others, and now she can't go. Yeah, it's what you want to do, but it doesn't really make you right." Yeah, I could see that. The only reason I kind of disagree is because they never agreed on they never booked anything. But I do see how if she's thinking in her head and trying to plan around her schedule, she's thinking December. Yeah, I see what that person is saying. Another person says, "People not being able to make it is one thing. Deciding on a date that works for most and then changing it is kind of crappy. I'd be upset if I could make it and then you just magically decided you changed your mind. Some people need months of planning because of their jobs and lives. Oh, well, fall has more things to do that I want to. Yeah, and you should have thought of that before settling on end of December. You're not a bridezilla, but you're absolutely not someone I'd want to be friends with. It's understandable she's upset and probably feels like she doesn't matter to you at all." Well, yeah, actually, they make a good point. They do make a good point, OP. I mean, you could still go hiking well, no, not in the Northeast. She's not available at all. I see what people are saying, because y'all all talked about it and everybody agreed on this month, and now it's like, oh, actually, I'm gonna push it up 2 months. I'll be like, what? No, I just can't go, and you just leaving me out to dry. I do see what they're saying. I will give it some thought. I know you said there's activities and stuff that you want to do. What did she say? Visit a brewery, go apple picking, cook together. I mean, I see both sides of the argument. At the end of the day, yes, it is your bachelorette party, and maybe, yes, you can still, as you said, try to do something with the other bridesmaid to still make them feel included, but it's not gonna be the same. Going to the party, you missing out on all the inside jokes and the things that everybody does, even though you plan on doing a separate celebration. It's not the same. Another person says, "So it's a bachelorette trip, not simply a bachelorette party, correct? Because a bachelorette trip or weekend is a lot more expensive than a bachelorette party. Keeping it real here. One thing about December is that many people have the expenses of the holidays. However, considering the bridesmaid who could attend and now cannot, she must feel the least important now. You said she's upset, so she must really have wanted to attend. Yet now it looks like you switched to accommodate your other 2 friends who couldn't attend. I'm glad you, as the bride, stated what is most important to you. You might need to do some damage control with the bridesmaid who is now left out. Edited to include, I wouldn't call you an a-hole." And one person says, "Yes, you are the a-hole. Not sure if full bridezilla or just a baby bridezilla. You've acknowledged that everyone is busy, but you expect them to jump when you unilaterally change plans. It's almost as if you want your friends as props as part of your nice little vision rather than actually spending time with them. You made plans for one of the busiest times of the year, and people had made plans around that. Now you've unilaterally changed things to exclude someone who made time for you. I'd feel crappy if a friend did that to me. It's not very loving behavior and likely makes her feel unimportant to you. Sounds like you've also unilaterally changed the likely activities too. Forget apple picking. Jeez, you're the a-hole for that alone. And OP responded, I actually am not expecting anyone to jump over hoops for this. I explained that changing the date will risk some not being able to go, but even with the original date, a girl couldn't come. So no, I'm not expecting everyone to just drop everything to come. I've explained that there is no good weekend where we can all meet and that it would be wiser to change it to October so that there's more options of what we can do. We never had anything booked or even set in stone for December. My friend was just happy that she was available for the original date, but that changing it she wouldn't be. It's not about not wanting anyone there or being inconsiderate of people's schedules. I genuinely just felt bad that she was upset. And yes, apple picking, it's a good thing you're not the one getting married here and having a bachelorette trip. Smiley face. Honestly, I don't know. I'm torn on this one. I wouldn't say full out like a-hole, but I'm just a little bit torn. At first, I was kind of like, it's your bachelorette. You can do what you want to do. But y'all didn't have anything set in stone. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about this one. And I'm just going to go to the next one because I can't make up my mind. So this next one is, am I the a-hole for tricking my parents into being on time for my wedding? This is an old one, posted in August 2022, but the update was in July 2024. So my male 33 parents are late for everything, like everything. Both of my sisters and myself have been disappointed so many times. Graduation ceremonies, birthday parties, even my father's retirement dinner. It is completely my mother's fault. She is a wonderful mother and I love her dearly. She just does not understand the concept of punctuality. I have seen her talking to her sister on the phone and reminded her she needed to be at my baby sister's dance recital. She waved me off and arrived after my sister had danced. Oh man. We are all used to it. My dad is just done trying to get her to be on time for anything. My now wife, female 28, told me in no uncertain terms that if my mother was late for our wedding, she would do terrible things to me. She was only half joking, but she was a witness to my mom and dad arriving halfway through my cousin's quinceañera. If I was a dad, I'd be going to places without her. If you can't be on time, I'm leaving without you. You're going to have to find a way to get there because, and I'm just going to take a pause before I finish the rest of this story, but I have ADHD, so I struggle with the concept of time, and sometimes I am late to things, but I know myself and I have to take extra steps to ensure that I'm not late to things. Like if I know that a place is 30 minutes away, but it's gonna take me an hour to get ready, but then I have to account for DC traffic, so I gotta add an extra 30 minutes, but then I gotta make sure I get down to the garage and get to my car. That's an extra 15 minutes. So, like I try to make sure to give myself more than enough time to get to places so that I am not late. Now, sometimes I still am late. But for you to be chronically late and it doesn't seem like you're even trying to make any steps to be better, you're missing your own daughter's dance recital. You're missing important moments in life just because you cannot manage yourself and try to be better. Everyone else can do it. So at some point, when does it become, an accident, and when does it become entitlement and you just don't care, or even disrespect? You don't respect other people's time and you just don't care. So the OP continues, so here is what I did. It is completely on me. My wife was not involved. If there is a D move, it was completely mine. When we were getting samples for the wedding, I talked to the printer and had one special invitation printed with the time on it stated being 1 hour earlier than the actual start time of the ceremony. My mother was beside herself, apparently, when they left the house and thought they were going to miss the wedding since she was a part of it, with her and my mother-in-law lighting the candles we would use to light the unity candle and stuff. When she arrived and noticed other people were also just arriving and parking, she was so relieved that we were starting late that she just went with it. So she was even late. She was still late. You was a part of the wedding and you had an important part to play and you were still late, technically, because he gave you a time that was an hour before and you still showed up when everybody else showed up. Girl, to your son's wedding. What the heck? Come on. The ceremony went off beautifully, and so did the wedding pictures and the reception. The problem came last Sunday. My parents came over for a big family dinner and we didn't bother starting the grill until they showed up. She asked why everyone wasn't eating and we just said we knew we would be waiting for them since they're always late. She said that she was not always late and had been on time for my wedding. She hadn't been. They arrived 45 minutes after the time on their invitation. My idiot cousin, John, real name because it's common and he deserves people to know he is an idiot, snorted at her statement. A few other people giggled or smiled at this and she picked up and asked what was so funny. I came clean and told her about the special invitation. She is pissed at me for not trusting her and making her look foolish in front of everyone. If my cousin had just controlled himself, she would have never known. Am I the a-hole? No, not the a-hole. And honestly, I'm gonna be honest. A friend had to do that to me. One of my friends out here in DC had to do that to me. Tell me a time that was like an hour ahead because again, I got ADHD. I have like time blindness sometimes. And so after she did that and I showed up, I think I showed up early that was the one time I had like actually showed up early. And she was like, "Oh girl, I'm sorry. Like I thought you was going to be late. So I told you an hour before the actual time, da 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 da." I felt bad. Like I wasn't angry with her. I felt bad that like she felt the need to tell me the wrong time because I was always late. And I had already started to realize that and started to try to do better. That's why I ended up being super early. But then after that happened, I especially after that was like, okay, like I got to get it together. I cannot always just be super late. So yeah, I don't think they're the a-hole. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. You know your mom, you know how she is. It is what it is. Okay, so some comments from the original post. Not the a-hole, how can she complain? If you had sent her an invite with the real time, then she would have been 45 minutes late. She should just appreciate the fact you wanted her to be there enough that you took the time to make her a special invite to ensure she arrived on time. Yeah, that's a good way to look at it too. Another person responded, I'm frequently late. Not 45 minutes late, but usually 10 to 15 minutes. I try my hardest to give myself an arrival time earlier than the start time. This way, if I'm late to the time I set for myself. My husband, sister, and dad all lie to me about what time we have to leave frequently, but I encourage this because my brain can't be trusted. They mean well, and I appreciate the help getting my ADHD ass together. They're all very good at it by now. See? It's that ADHD will do it every time. The time blindness is real. So edit to add, hello friends, this has sparked a bigger conversation about ADHD. Just so everyone knows, I do manage my own ADHD by using the arrive by setting on Apple Maps to predetermine my travel time. My biggest issue is accounting for travel time. I will say that's my biggest issue too. It's the dang travel time. I'll look up the directions, it'll say 30 minutes. I'll be on the way, it'll say 45. I'm like, I would have been there if it wasn't that meddling travel time. Anyway, they continue to say, using timers to help me see the time actually moving by, setting out my clothes and backpack the night before, making sure the chores are all done at night so there's nothing to distract me, packing my lunch the night before, having my keys set in their predetermined spot, and setting roughly 5 to 10 alarms to help me wake up. Heck, I set appointments in my calendar for 15 minutes ahead of time, so when I inevitably forget, I arrive early. I see that we feel very strongly about me relying on my family to help me be on time. They only do this for me when we're going somewhere together. I don't ask them to manage my neurodivergence. I rely on my own rituals to be on time. But it is a sincere struggle for me and one I work on every day. Since being diagnosed a couple years ago when I started grad school, I've gained more understanding and tools that I didn't have prior to diagnosis. I'm not defending OP's mom. She should use tools like I use because no one wants to be late to their own kid's wedding. Yeah, I agree, and I do some of these same tactics. I even put appointments in my calendar at an earlier time than they actually are so that I can be on time. Like if the appointment is at 10:30, I'll put it in my calendar as 10:15 or 10. So then, I mean, it never hurts to be early, but I just don't like being late. And it like gives me anxiety, like I'm on the way, I'm late, and then it's like, I'm always late. It's not a good feeling always being late. Another comment, not the a-hole. She is embarrassed because she has a problem showing up on time and you proved it. Someone said it's also a choice. Like she could be on time if it was important to her. Chronically late people simply do not respect others enough to be punctual. I have severe ADHD. When I'm supposed to arrive at a certain time, I set alarms. Start getting ready alarms. In case you're distracted, get back to being ready alarms. 15 minutes until you have to start, leave, or whatever alarms. Sometimes 2 hours of alarms to ensure I stay on track and arrive early. I respect others. I respect their time, so I don't let them wait on me. I have a disability that is associated with lateness, and I work hard and inconvenience myself to ensure my loved ones know I care enough to be where they need me on time. Completely agree. The alarms are a lifesaver. I have so many alarms. I'm just looking at my alarms. I have so many alarms. I also have a little refrigerator magnet that's a timer that my friend Rel so graciously gifted me because he knows I have ADHD and like time blocking stuff helps. Yeah, you have to use the tools that you have to manage. Someone said, not the a-hole, but realistically, prepare for them to be even later from now on because she doesn't know if you're providing the real time. Another person, not the a-hole, nicely played in my opinion. Your mom should be ashamed of herself for being so self-involved that she does not value anyone else. If she tries to get huffy, keep putting it back on her. This is a consequence of her behavior that she should be thanking you for knowing her so well. You went the extra mile so she could be there on time. Exactly. Like, again, this happened to me. It wasn't like a super important event like that, but my friend just noticed that I was always late and she got ADHD too. So she told me an earlier time and I was grateful because then I was on time and I didn't feel bad. Let me go to the update. As I said, the update was almost 2 whole years later. Update on forcing my parents to be on time for my wedding. My parents have been embarrassed for 2 years now because of how I tricked them into being on time for my wedding. Pretty much every time I see them, they say I was a D not to trust them. Our church is very busy and full of young people, so lots of weddings, to the point where there are 3 weddings every Saturday all summer long. Oh, wow. 1 at 10, 1 at noon, and 1 at 3. Sometimes, but not often, there is also an evening wedding. My little sister just got married. She snagged the noon slot. My mom got super involved in planning the wedding to prove that I'm just an immature a-hole. She said that she would be on time and not miss anything. Side note, I personally hate when people clink glasses to get the bride and groom to kiss. At our wedding, people had to sing a song. My cousin John has no shame and sang like 10 times. I think people were bribing him with alcohol. I set up a betting pool for kisses depending on how late my parents were. It cost $10, and if you guessed within 5 minutes, you got a free pass to make my sister and her husband kiss. Almost everyone bet on time because of the extravaganza at my wedding. The correct answer was 35 minutes. Only me, my D cousin John, and his sister Yvonne got free passes for the kissing, and I bet $100. I was confident. We raised almost $1,500 for the honeymoon with my stupid idea, and I got to interrupt my sisters from eating with my 10 passes. Win-win, except for my mom, who thinks I did this to embarrass her. She literally helped plan the wedding and was still late by over half an hour. We were literally cleaning up the decorations in my sister's colors while the next wedding was decorating after us. So that's that. My mom will never change, but I have harnessed her inability to give a crap about punctuality for the good of humanity. See you whenever my littlest sister gets married. Oh, wow. So I just don't get it. She was involved in the planning. She knew full well the times, the decorations, where it was going to be, what was going to happen, the itinerary, everything, and was still late. That's crazy. I think the betting thing was funny though. Someone said, my brother-in-law is always late too. We just tell him to get to family events an hour earlier. But he's realized what we're doing and has adjusted his lateness to compensate for our trickery. At this point, we don't care if he's late anymore. We'll just start without him. And he got angry that we started before he got there. So I just asked him if he was ever late for work. No. Like, why would I question his professionalism like that? So I told him, so you can be on time, just not with us, right? That's why we're starting without you. Nah, the audacity to always be late. Have people have to adjust the time that they tell you so you can be on time. Realize that they're adjusting the time and readjusting the time so you continue to be late, but then being mad that they start without you because you're late. These people. Anyway, let me go to the next story. This is an older story. This is from November 2023. There are some trigger warnings for alcoholism, emotional manipulation, gaslighting, and Darvo? What is Darvo? Deny, attack, and reverse victim and offender. Well, okay. What are we about to get into here? My parents ruined my wedding and I don't think I can get over it. My now husband and I got married on Halloween and I'm not okay with how our day went. We didn't want anything big, just close friends and family at the courthouse dressed in costumes. There were supposed to be 12 adults and 1 child that was on our guest list. Let's start off with the night before. My husband got sick and he took the whole day to recover to be well. The plan was to get my nails done, have my mom French braid my hair, then go home, help him feel better, and pack. When I got to my parents' house, my mom informed me that my 2 aunts weren't coming and that she invited my cousin. What? How you just inviting somebody to someone else's wedding? I didn't want them there, firstly. Second, she told me as my dad was on the way to pick him and my sister up. I love my cousin, but I'm not close with him, and he's an alcoholic that everybody enables. My small reception was not dry, and she promised me he wouldn't be a problem. Oh, Lord. The reception was at my parents' house, so she was busy cleaning. I still needed to comb my hair out, and she wanted to surprise me with decorations. Long story short, we were running low on time as it was 9 p.m. and I needed to head home to sleep since our wedding was early in the morning. She doesn't start my hair until after her and my cousin start drinking and smoking. I'm already annoyed. I make it home at the mom and the... What is going on? The mom and the cousin were drinking and smoking together? Oh, Lord. I make it home at midnight and still have to check on my hubby and pack. I go to bed at 3 a.m. and have to be up at 5 a.m., but I woke up 30 minutes late. I drive back to her house to get ready and help her get ready. When I get there, everyone is sleeping because after they put up the decorations, they stayed up drinking and smoking. Already running late and stressing because the veil I made myself wouldn't stay, my cousin starts rushing me. My parents start fighting loudly and I'm already exhausted. We make it to the courthouse, get married, and I got a handful of pictures, but everyone else is in like 30 pictures. I got one picture that I liked and only 10 were taken. We get brunch and only my friends are talking to me and my husband. Everyone else isn't even paying attention to us. Mom keeps saying, "I'm a mother-in-law today." My friends had to leave, they let us know in advance, so now it's just my family. My cousin is super drunk, won't stop talking, no one is listening to me, and the only person that keeps checking on me is my husband. Eventually, I get overwhelmed and we check in our hotel and take a nap. 2 to 3 hours later, we head back to the house to give everyone a second chance. But they are clearly more intoxicated and loud. Cuss words are flying. My husband tries to calm me down by telling me to start playing our wedding playlist that we made ourselves. The entire time, my cousin is complaining about the music. He wanted us to play more hardcore rap. Now, I wasn't opposed to song requests and even played some songs he requested, but every song that wasn't his, he complained, asked me to turn it off, or asked why I would play this song. Our first dance was to "Can I Have This Dance" from HSM, and he asked me to turn it off. When we were ready to cut the cake, no one came and took pictures. No one was even in the room with us because my cousin was drunk rapping his hot mess bars. My wedding day didn't feel like my day. I had no say in anything, no one paid attention to us, and I have one picture. This was supposed to be the happiest day of my life, but here I am. I'm crying at 4:32 a.m. on Reddit, no sleep, while my husband sleeps peacefully. I couldn't tell him earlier because we had to get intoxicated just to deal with them, and he already doesn't like my dad, so I didn't want him to say anything in that situation. Ooh, girl, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Honestly, y'all would have did better just to not have any of y'all family there, because, geez, this sounds like a mess. Oh. So the first comment says, "I'm so sorry this happened to you. It sounds so difficult, and I cannot imagine how hard it must be for you because of your horrible family who are full of themselves. I would suggest you to talk to your husband about this, let him know how you feel, and have a good wedding plan once again, but only both of you because it's not about everyone else. It's the bond between you both. If you want to, you can invite your close friends, have a photographer take some memorable pictures, buy a cake and cut, have a beautiful ride or picnic or day out, whatever suits you both the most." I like that idea. I would probably go with that approach. Let's just do the whole thing over and, like I said, not even invite the family at all because they clearly don't seem like they can get it together. Another person says, "I'm so sorry. There is no rule that you can only have one ceremony. Maybe consider having a do-over ceremony later on for just the two of you. Go someplace fun. Vegas, a park, a beach, camping in the woods, etc." So that's another person basically recommending they do it again. Someone else says, "Sounds like you're the scapegoat, like me. I decided to start setting boundaries with my family, which makes me even more of a black sheep, but I have more peace within myself now. It might be good to seek therapy. It's a good way to process this kind of trash behavior and encouragement to advocate for yourself. I'm sorry this happened. Something similar happened at my wedding and I'm still upset about it. It's been 11 years, but I've taken steps to ensure I will never be in that situation again. Congrats, dude. I'm sorry it didn't turn out how you had dreamed." All right, so there was an update that was 2 days later, and they say, "I posted here about how my parents and cousin ruined my wedding and how I didn't know what to do, so here's the update. After posting here, I tried to get some sleep, but I couldn't and ended up waking my husband. He and I talked, and he told me he felt the same way. I cried all morning until he made me lay down to finally sleep. I maybe got 3 hours of sleep before waking up in incredible pain and feeling nauseous. We checked out of our hotel early and went to the hospital. I had the same sickness he had the day before our wedding. We went back to my parents' house so I could get some real sleep before making the drive home. We did not talk to my parents about it. After talking to our friends, we decided that we would redo the pictures next Wednesday and have a mini party to celebrate. My husband told me to feel my feelings but not to worry about it because he would fix it. I trust that he will. What I hadn't mentioned in my previous post was this was my first wedding and we're having another one next year for everyone to come to, which is why it hurt so much to have my mom do that to me. Neither one of us are particularly close with our families, but as to not have any drama, we decided to have a smaller, intimate one this year and the bigger, more extravagant one next year. After what happened with this wedding, we both made the decision that my mom would never have the opportunity to do this to me again, and she will have no say in the next one. We did eventually talk to my mom about her actions, and it went about as expected. She made herself to be the victim and me out to be the bad guy. She used my aunt's passing as an excuse to invite my cousin. She also told me she asked if he could come, but doesn't see that she gave me no way to say no. She doesn't understand how she ruined our day. I'm sorry you feel like I ruined your day, was the apology I received. Eventually, I gave up trying to get her to understand how she ruined it and the fact that we weren't mad at her, just extremely hurt. I did tell her that there was no way for her to make this up to me, and apparently that was the wrong thing to say. I gray rocked her until she got off the phone and cried into my husband's chest until he made me laugh. As for going no contact or low contact with my parents, I was already low contact with my dad for things in the past, and I'm currently low contact with my mom, but she doesn't get that. She's called me 20 times today alone, and I have not answered once. I'm working on processing things that happened in childhood, but I can't get over the fact that they're my parents. I know with everything that has happened, not even just my wedding, that I should be no contact with them. For some reason, my heart won't let me. Low contact for now. We appreciate the comments you guys left, and he really enjoyed reading that he's doing a good job. I really did pick a good one, and even though our wedding day wasn't what we wanted, I did marry the love of my life. He continues to prove that to me daily, and I've never been happier. Unless something of more significance happens, this will be the only update. Thank you again, and I hope you all enjoyed your Halloween. Okay, so I was also gonna say it seems like the family already had some toxic qualities before this happened, but she pretty much confirmed that the relationship already was a little contentious. So there was an update about 3 weeks later. Update, hi, I saw my story on TikTok the other day. My husband actually sent it to me. He told me I should give y'all an update, so here it is. We're not having a second wedding. We might have a party, but we're definitely just going to go on a trip somewhere. We decided that we shouldn't feel obligated to do another one for the sake of others, nor should we give my mother the chance to do this again. Also, to the people on TikTok, I'm 21, non-binary, and black. My husband is 22 and black. Someone said my family was Mexican coded, and I thought I should clear up my age. Also, just because I love HSM doesn't make me white. Oh, HSM is High School Musical. I didn't get that before. Okay. They played High School Musical at their wedding. I used to love High School Musical. I would know all the little dances. We're all in this together. Anyways, they say, ever since I heard, "Can I have this dance?" I knew that was going to be my first dance. Contrary to popular belief, I do have a backbone. What was I supposed to do? My dad already picked up my cousin by the time my mom told me she invited him, and no matter how loud I yelled, none of them were listening to me. I feel like some of y'all never had to contemplate going no contact with a parent, let alone a black mother. The level of guilt and grief when you realize you have to for your sake, I wish that on no one. Also, my husband and family got along well until our wedding. Whoever was invited was because we both wanted them there. He felt like the day wasn't about us as well. He doesn't like my dad, and I don't like my dad. The only reason he was there was it's his house and he's married to my mom. We are extremely low contact with my parents. We haven't talked since I got my non-apology. That's the level I'm comfortable keeping it at. I'm standing on my boundaries for the first time in my life. I would like to say I posted the original on Off My Chest for a reason. It was bothering me and I needed to vent somewhere. I frankly don't care what people think. To those of you who left comments about your experiences or tried to help me with understanding my parents by offering me books to read, I thank you. To those who said my husband will get sick of dealing with my parents and leave me, he's been with me for 3 years before we got married and has done nothing but reassure me. He's been with me when I've cried over my relationship with my father, and he's still here as I'm coming to terms with my mother. I have a truly great man, and I'm nothing but thankful for him. And to add, the reason I didn't hire a photographer was because my mom is the picture taker of the family. We had an agreement that she would take pictures for me. I wasn't expecting it to go like that. As for new pictures, we did hire a photographer and will be taking pictures in early December. The small get-together with friends was exactly what we wanted it to be. All right, so we got an update from OP. Sounds like she's doing okay. They're still married. They had a little get-together with their friends. So I wish you the best, OP. I hope you have a long and healthy marriage. And that is actually the last main read of the video. So just a reminder to like, comment, and subscribe. And then I'll just read this little palette cleanser. I had a manager who was quite pedantic about everything. Every document must be put into its own folder and placed on his desk for signature before having to send it out myself. There were 10 of us who had to do this, so anonymity was easy. So one day, I sprayed the paper with fart spray and closed it. Testing the air around me didn't have any indication that anything nefarious was hidden in the folder. So I placed it on his desk, others did the same, and my prank was set. Mid-afternoon, I heard a, "What the F is that smell?" And he threw the folder out of his office into the hallway. That gagged workers close to his office and made him quite popular. It never changed how we did business, but it did make him paranoid that it would happen again. Ah, that's funny. Thanks, OP, for sharing. I hope nobody ever sprays that fart spray around me, because I can only imagine what it smells like. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.